Good morning, all of you. Today we'll discuss about the motion magnetic field due to moving charge particles, then moving charged sheet, then due to rotating charged structures. That one. So altogether, a non-conducting charged object. What about the field produced due to its motion? Or this particular topic we can put like a magnetic field due to moving charged systems. Also very important, we don't have any good question till now in advance. This is the only topic left over. So better what happen, what are available, some 10 questions are there. Work out all, you'll be on safer side, no? Because in books only one or two problems are there and they're coming out. No much discussion are there. Okay, these are already, yesterday we discussed the formula, no? So now we are going to take now two charges are there. The magnetic force explained by charge Q1 due to other charge Q2. The magnetic force explained by charge Q1 due to other charge Q2. Both are moving. So let's calculate the field at the position of one due to for field produced by this one. So B2 will be equal to mu naught Q2 V2 bar cross R bar by 4 pi R cube. There's a formula. So what is R? R is the line joining AB. So there's the line joining the charge particles AB. So there's a position A, there's a position B, and charge particle, positive charge particle. Let's take here this one, and this particular charge particle, it is moving here. At the location of that, we should calculate the field. Let it be positive charge particles. A is given, no, two positive charges. So what is the value of B2? So we don't in vector form. So what is that position vector R bar? You can define minus AI cap plus AJ cap. So in the vector form, when you write it, mu naught Q2, V2 will be V2 J cap cross R bar will be minus AI cap plus AJ cap. Four pi, this will be like a root of A square plus anybody value R cube, how much it will be? R will be root of A square plus A square, A root 2. So A cube 2 to power of 3 by 2. Or 2 root 2. This much is there. So we'll take the cross product of this. So this should be the B2 is equal to mu naught Q2 8 root 2 pi A cube J cross I minus K. So this will be V2 A cap. J cross J, it will be 0. Okay, this is the value of the magnetic field. So mu naught Q 1A get cancels. Q2 V2 by 8 root 2 pi A square. Now there's a magnetic field. So how much it is? B2. Whatever the direction, direction should be out of the plane. According to or V bar cross R, this R bar, no? Curl fingers from V2 bar towards R bar. So at that particular location, it will be out of the plane. The field will be out of the plane. You have everything, no? Your K cap. Now it will interact with this. So F is equal to, apply the formula now. So what is the formula? F1 is equal to Q V1 bar cross B2 bar. This is what the force is asking. So this is Q1. So Q1, V1 is V1 I cap cross mu naught Q2 V2 K cap. So mu naught Q1 Q2 V1 V2 8 root 2 pi a square. I cross K, K cross I will be J I cross K minus J. This is what F1, no? What is this F1? Any name shall we give? Force acting on the charge particle 1 due to field produced by the moving charge particle 2. Now, this is the thing. Force acting on 1 on Q1 due to field produced by Q2. Shall I ask either way? What is the force acting on the F2 on the second charge particle due to moving charge Q1? Will it be equal and opposite? Will be equal and opposite. So we have to be really very careful about the conditions here, no? No, there's a question sequence. Okay, similarly, let's calculate here. So what is the calculation now? He didn't ask anything, just he asked us to end up here. Okay, we got the answer. Let's work out in other way. Will charge particle also, will it experience this much of force only? So first we'll calculate the location, at the location of here. B1 will locate it. This is, yeah. What do you mean by B1? The field produced by the charge particle 1 at the location of second charge particle. Again, apply the formula, get the V1, B1. Then you can write Q2, V2 bar cross B1. Let me call that as F2. Let me work out for B2. And some good conceptual questions can be asked here. This I just picked up this one. Let me come for this. Okay, proceed with the same calculation like earlier what we did. I had the location of this one, so here it should be equal to B1 is equal to mu naught Q1 B1 bar cross. This was earlier we defined R cap, no? So you define that as bar. Later on we'll change symbol. 4 pi S cube. What is S bar? S bar should be minus of R bar. So V1 I cap. This should be minus A I cap plus A I cap minus A J cap. 4 pi. In fact, S is equal to R, no? S is equal to R. So same 2 root 2 A cube. Two root 2 A cube. This. I think I should not solve, no? It is naturally understood. What is the natural understood? It should be equivalent opposite from Newton's third law. So I cross I will be 0. I cross J will be K. So V1, so this I'll end up with minus K. So 8 root 2 pi E cube, or finally this is equal to mu naught q1 k cap by 8 root 2 pi E cube. This is B1. This will be into the plane, B2 was out of the plane. Let's calculate now F2, force acting on second charge particle. F2 should be equal to Q2 V2 bar cross B1 bar. So minus K cap B bar. So it should be like a I cross K. So will plus J will I get it, no?
Sir, velocity is in J direction, no, sir.
Velocity is in x-axis, no?
It is in J direction, sir, in this second case.
Oh, this is J direction, no? J cap. Better I'll write it. Yeah, J cap cross minus of mu naught q1 v1 8 root 2 pi a square this is q2. Final value f2 should be, and j cross k will be I minus I am getting j cross k I, so this will be minus of mu naught q1 q2 v1 v2 by 8 root 2 pi a square minus I cap. They're not equal, no? How come? Something wrong is there? So how F2 will act along negative x-axis? How F1 is acting? The J cap, you see this? So let me show that forces here in the diagram. So how this should be? The force acting on Q1 due to this one. So minus J cap. So that force should be downward here, no? That force should be downward here. And this is the positive charge particle. Now, similarly this one, this is F2, no? F2 should be here, F2 minus I cap. So force acting on, this is one we took for on Q1 due to, I'll make correction. This is correct here. This is F1 here, right? And then what about F2, force acting on minus I cap? Look at this, something we expected that to be equal and opposite, no? So therefore net force on the system, but we ended up something somewhere in a, so shall we leave it here only? Sorry, it happens in magnetism chapter like this only, let's not bother. What about Newton's third law? Is a basic law, no? Should be obeyed. So where it has gone, no? Nice opportunity for you to think. Basic fundamental. In terms of basic fundamental, there's a nice opportunity what teacher is giving for students to think. So there is some, we are missing that field, no? Actually, a charge particle moving in a field. The charge particle expends force. What about the field? There'll be a field, no? Actually, what is F1? Things are like that. No? What is first? We'll do one thing. That B1 is there, no? The second charge particle will produce B2. charge particle 2 which is moving, what will produce B2. Where F1 will be acting, F1 will be acting on B2. Similarly, what happened? The first charge particle will produce field B1. And this field will exert a force on the charge particle Q2. In turn, what happened? The charge particle experiences a force on the B1, the field B1. I think I should not show field here 1 point and I'll show force, but for your understanding purpose, I'll just show that force here. Don't scold me, sir, how can you show like this? Just to make students to imagine. Is it okay? I think little bit easy to imagine now. Okay, let's come for this one. Let's come for this. The moving charge particle 1, this moving charge particle 1, it will produce a field B1. Got it? It will produce a field B1. Then this field will exert a force, no? That is F2. In turn, what happens? The charge particle will exert force on this field B1 produced by that one. That is F2 here. So I should not show at 1 point. Again, don't scold me, sir, what you are doing. Just only to make you to imagine. Because where field will be everywhere. From where? From the location of the point charge Q1 to till where? Till the infinity, no? It will be. So where this force will be acting throughout the field. I'll discuss tomorrow. The frame of reference I'll discuss tomorrow, that one. Frame of reference we'll discuss tomorrow. Is that okay? No? So there's a simplest way. This F2 I should not show like this. I'm making things clear. Where this F2 will act? F2 will act throughout where all the field due to point charge Q1 is there, at all points this force will be acting. Just imagine. It's something very difficult to analyze, no? As in quantum mechanics, we have a suitable way to express. But as far as classical mechanics, we have to just say that the force. So don't show F2 at 1 point. For your understanding purpose only, I'm showing that one. So there are Newton's law is valid. It's a fundamental law. It must be valid here. So that missing force is what we should search here. So therefore, if a field exerts a force on a charge particle, in turn, charge particle will exert a force on the field. In turn, the charge particle will exert a force on the field. So the missing force is what we have to show like this. So still, and don't show F1 equal to F2. Sir, what about magnitude? Okay, you are talking about magnitude, okay, but don't write F1 bar equal to F2 bar. They're not equal. Getting the idea? This is so they may test you with all these basic fundamentals. So now the field produced by the point charge. So here what will happen? The B1, where it is present, it is present throughout the space from here to till infinity. So at all points, the field will experience a force. Just imagine, sir, how field will experience a force. So this is what happens in electrodynamics when we go for the higher part of the electricity magnetism, no, the electrodynamics. They're all these are taken care. So I'll just stop it here only. So any fundamental question can be asked for you. Okay, now come for this. So now after this moving charge particle, no, I'm bringing a non-conducting charged sheet. Charged object it is. So what is the field produced by this one? Means when a moving charge produces field, definitely what a non-conducting sheet also can produce. So what is the charge density? It's equal to sigma. So we have to determine the field due to this one. So the assumption will take like this. Good conceptual questions will be asked in this section. You be careful. There's the last part of system, no, where some very good conceptual things can be analyzed. So let me take a strip. I'm assuming a strip. So this particular thing is moving with a velocity, no? So and here the charge is present. So let the length of this let it be equal to dx, and the length of this part let it be dl. Since you are familiar with this one, or dr, anything you, if you want to take it here. Now look at this, some sort of how much of charge is present in this dq charge, and what is sigma. So what is the how much of charge is present dq? So dq, what we can write it here. So this can also be dr. This width will be dr, no? So dq, what you can write sigma into dx into dr. So this I'm able to define the charge. Okay, after this, how to get the field? We were asking something field, no? So go back to, shall we take help of Biot-Savart law? So this is equivalent to current carrying sheet. For again, for your understanding purpose, I'm bringing this concept of sheet. So it is as good as for me what happened. There is a sheet now. From where the current is coming now. So this should be the out of plane. Out of the plane, I'm taking this. Rate of flow of charge should be what? Should be the current too. So is it, look at the green color region, the charge is there, the charge is in motion. And what is V? We can write dx by dt from the geometry. So is there, and let me apply Ampere's loop. So where is the Ampere's loop? I'm going to bring the Ampere's loop like this. Only one problem, if you can go back to again the basics yesterday what we have learned, no? So this will be the, and the current let it be like this, and we assumed an Ampere path. No, this is what dr, no? It is enclosing some current. So how to take help of all this data, and this is like a sheet. So how the B bar, this particular, the charge flowing what pen, as good as like a current di is flowing in this region, di is flowing. So di is what you can write dq by dt. So how much of current here is di. So di is what we can write dq by dt. Due to this di, how the field will be here in this direction, and the field here will be in this direction. So or here if you showing the field, so and what about here? This will be zero, no? Here dl, if you take it, this will be zero. So applying the this one, so 2b or say bdr. There's a basic problem. Everywhere the application will come. Ampere circuit law. So what about the value of b bar dot dl? Value of b bar dot dl for 1 2 for 1 2 for 2 3 and 1 4. It should be zero, no? It will be like this: b dr cos 90. It will be zero. Similarly for 4 1 bdr cos 90 0. So I'll add up only due to 1 2 and 3 4, or finding difficult. So you break up everything. 1 2 bdr cos 0 degree, 2 3 cos 90, 3 4 bdr cos 0, 4 1 bdr cos 0 is equal to net current enclosed. So mu naught into di, I'll write it. So these two shaded quantities, these two will be 0, cos 19, no, it is. These two will be tending to 0. Simplification of this, it will be 2 BdR is equal to mu naught. What to write di? Di is what? dq by dt. Further, dq by dt, what you can write it as? What is dq? Sigma dx dr by dt. Sigma, okay, dx by dt, what we can write as v. So this is dr. So finally, what is b equal to mu naught sigma v by 2. So there's a magnetic field produced by the large non-conducting charge sheet. That's strict condition, it should be large. If the finite, I think the field will, will not be uniform and we can't write directly b dr cos 0. I'm making things clear. Large non-conducting sheet. Yeah, better, I think in exam, you can't determine so much, no? Better to remember this. Like a Bayer-Savart law. Like that also due to non-conducting charge sheet, due to disk, different systems. And where that field will be below the plate, above the plate, and will be uniform. Is it okay? So I think three-dimensional diagram, little bit very difficult. I'm just showing few arrows above the plate, below the plate. Directed, tangential to the plate, and will be below and above. I'm showing that arrows here. Okay, this is about the B bar due to large non-conducting sheet here. Okay, just one small application. Okay, somebody is asking, see once. Okay, this that dx by dt is what we have replaced with v. Come for parallel plate. Read the question. I'll have water meanwhile. Something related to the capacitor parallel plate. So bring two plates of capacitor. So this is the there's a one plate. I'm trying to draw a diagram. I'm trying to draw the diagram. There's a plate here. So these are the leads. This will have positive charge density. This will have negative charge density. And we know the field due to the electric field. How these plates are moved and made to move with a constant velocity directed along one of its edges. One of its edges, so we can pick up in any direction. So let me take it. I'll write it U. That small v, capital V. Now he's asking what is the magnetic field strength between the gap, in that gap. Same similarly how we took no that similar approach what you can develop here. How to bring that potential into the picture? He's asking potential difference. No, there's a potential V, so it is maintained at potential. We don't know that sigma. No, how do I can bring sigma through potential only? So first we'll get into the charge density. How to calculate charge density? Sigma equal to Q by A square. Oh, sigma equal to charge density Q by A square, where A is the area of cross section. Take help of like this. Sigma equal to, then Q equal to sigma AD. So V equal to, we do write like this, no? E into D, potential difference. Let E be the electric field as shown. E is what? Sigma by epsilon naught into D. Further, what is sigma? You can write it as like a sigma. What you can Q you can bring charge Q by. Anyway, I think let's stop here only. No. So the sigma is what we know that one. If a plate moves, you know what is the magnetic field inside. This is what potential. So what is the expression for magnetic field inside the between the plates? So this is like a two plates. So this is H P1, P2, P3, P4. You take like this. And this is that P1, P2, this is P3, this P4. So this should be the out of the plane current. This should be the into the plane because negative charge moving means positive charge moving towards left. Shall we approximate? So from where this this is about the current, because the charge which is present, this charge will be positive charge will be moving like this. Negative charge moving is opposite to negative charge. Will assume hypothetical positive charge moving towards left, and that will set up a current. So that what minus sigma here. So directly now what about the field strength? Due to this, the field should be here, and due to it'll be here. So due to this, it should be in this direction, and due to the lower plate, it should be in the downward direction. At least I think try to understand this. Look at the arrows. So the magnitude of magnetic field strength should be same. Okay, no. What is that B directly? No need to again go back. Directly due to moving charge plate, what is B is equal to? Mu naught sigma U by 2 should come as it is. The magnitude that one. So resultant field, how much it should be? B net. B net should be equal to 2B. So therefore this should be field due to individual plate sigma U by 2. So which is equal to mu naught sigma U. You are standing here. You are standing here. Either you move plate. See, you can move plate along any direction here. So I think it doesn't make the problem. Whereas I'm moving the plates along x-axis, the capacitor. You can move along y-axis also. I think the overall situation will be same that one. If you move it proportionally, you have to change proportionally the direction of B bar. I'll give in the end the direction of B bar. This is the B net. What should be the direction of B net? According to this, so we have P1, P2. No, I think I'll change the P1. We'll give direction of B bar also. It'll be much easier. What should be the direction of B net? No, negative z axis. Clear? Negative z axis. So this is what net feeder. We don't know sigma. No, sigma is what we assumed. Sigma I'll replace from here. So this should be equal to mu naught. Sigma will be V epsilon naught U by D. So mu naught epsilon naught U potential. V is a potential. If you want potential, write V naught or any other symbol and substitute. So this will be the magnetic field directed along negative z axis. So any capacitor, moving capacitor is there, no? The effect of this magnetic field should also be taken. You go back again. There can be some problems are there where the capacitor is moved. The capacitor is moved. What happen again? You have to bring the magnetic field into the picture. Things are a little bit very complicated practically when you go it. It's not that easier. So when you go for work done, no, the magnetic field energy also will come, electrostatic field energy will come. So you have to interlink all. So in exams, you have to be very careful. What we are studying is individually capacitor, individually magnetism. You can introduce both here. If the plates are brought to rest, of course, magnetic field will vanish. So as long as the plates are moving, the magnetic field will exist here. Okay, plates now. Plates moved in different directions. Try to think. I just took some cases. No, if the plates are moved with a different velocities in different direction, then the resultant field at a point. Even there can be a question like this. No, so this plate, if I move like this is the thing, and this particular plate. I'll move like this, or let's take example like this here. Then the field at a certain point they'll ask you because it will produce field everywhere here. This will, of course, there are large sheets. Just hypothetical, I'm showing small that one. So individually calculate due to this field, take superposition. Any application problems can be asked. You have to be careful. Okay, now after this, we will first take the rotating charge particle. And this very good question can be asked in advance. I felt really very good. Simple idea. It's asking force of interaction between the ring, rotating ring, and a semi-infinite long wire. There are two things are there. This is the semi-infinite long wire and rotating charged ring. There's a radius r. So where charge is present on the surface. So this is what the Q. And it is rotating. Omega, I'll show it here. So what about the rotating charge ring? Will it produce any field? Yes, it will produce no. So what is the current? So can I replace this like a current carrying ring? It's equivalent to current carrying ring. Is equivalent to current carrying. What about the direction of current? The direction of the tangential velocity. And this is what that particular semi-infinite wire. This is equivalent to current carrying ring. It is how to calculate the current I. So again, the I is equal to Q by time period. So Q by 2 pi omega. Okay, this is the expression for current. And what is the magnetic field on the axis of the ring? What is the expression for magnetic field on the axis of the ring? So let me calculate this. This I'll call 1, 2. So B1 will calculate. And this particular is carrying a current I. This is a semi-infinite wire. So first we'll calculate B1. What is the formula for B1? B1 is equal to mu naught I r square 2 r square plus x square to the power of 3 by 2 at a distance x at point P. Okay, no. So this much is the, and what is I? I we are going to substitute here. This is what I. Now small I, capital I, be careful. Small I is due to the rotating charge ring. Okay, after getting this one, you take small element, a small elemental length you pick up. Let there be a small element. Let the length of that element be dx. What is dl bar and I? What is b bar and dl bar? How they are? They are in same direction. No? So what is the force of interaction? Will be 0. So what is the force explained by that small element? B1 I dx. So what is the angle between b bar and dl? It is 0, no? So therefore the force will be 0. Like that you take every point on this semi-infinite wire, no? The force explained by due to this rotating ring will be 0. So do remember this is the field produced by the rotating ring. Field produced so you take any conductors, no, almost fan, refrigerator, where there are some rotating objects are there. Due to some environmental conditions.
Sir, cos 0 will be 1, no, sir?
So,
Time 0 degrees.
so sorry, it is. Thank you. So now you look at any like a conductor, any in a equipments where there are rotating fields are there. Due to some environmental conditions or something, what when a charge will be deposited, the rotating charge deposited on that particular rotating structure, what it will do? It will cause a magnetic field. These are things. So when they are like operating any sensitive devices, no, they have to take care about all these particular features. Any good application problem can come. So I'm just sharing the basic idea. So this is about the rotating ring, that one. So next we go for other rotating charged, non-conducting charged object. This is a disk, no? Yes, supported with a diagram. So what is the surface charge density of this? Let it be sigma. Sigma be the surface charge density. How much of charge present in this? So I'll assume an elemental strip. Okay, this is a dq. So first we'll define dq. So sigma is what? Total charge by area. What is dq is equal to? dq equal to sigma into 2 pi r dr. And what is the current flowing in that elemental strip, circular strip? di is equal to dq by t. Let omega be the angular velocity. dq by 2 pi by omega. dq is what? Sigma 2 pi r dr 2 pi omega. Sigma omega r dr. So this is di. This is like a ring, no? So what is the field produced by that? dB is equal to mu naught di by 2r. Due to rotating charged disk, so this should be equal to mu naught sigma omega r dr by 2r. R get cancelled, so mu naught sigma omega by 2. This is dr. Field strength will be 0 to capital R. Mu naught sigma omega r by 2. So this is where the field strength at the center, at O only. Magnetic moment, how to calculate dm? Again, dm is equal to di into pi r square. Then integrate 0 to capital R. Magnetic dipole moment. Okay, this you do later on. I'll go for next charged system. Oh no. Carefully analyze it. A non-conducting cylindrical shell with surface charge density sigma, where the charge is present only on the surface. The charge is present only on the surface. I'll give 5 minutes time. Analyze it. So it's like a cylindrical pipe. The charge is present only on the cylindrical, like a plastic pipe. The charge is present on the surface. It's a long. It's a not a short that one. It's a long that one. A long non-conducting cylindrical shell. That one. Long in the sense infinity. Maximum books they avoided this particular systems. Only just one or two questions are there. That's why we may feel they are not important, but can be asked in advance. Already rotating charged ring, one question I discussed in dipole moment. So anything you can pick up. Now, see, this is, we took for ring, no? Now it is a cylinder, like this, different charged systems, non-conducting charge system will rotate. I'll bring some magnetic field, so they'll experience a torque. So many concepts can be related, no? So rather than dipole moment something, we are more bothered about only the field generated. Yeah, then this sigma. The charge is present only in that blue color shaded one. Please notice that. On only charge on one non-conducting, no charge will be there only on one surface. Don't make any guess. Try to show that mathematically. Don't make any guess. Huh? Try to work out like with ampere circuit law only. You have to work out. Don't go for bias out law. Nowhere it is helpful. No bias out law. You have to say goodbye to this. So what I do is like I'll assume a system like this. This axis about which it is rotating. So let me assume a strip. In this particular strip, I'm further take like this. So let this be the strip now. And one more strip you assume. So when they're rotating, what happens? That strip, the charge present there will be moving, and as if like a some current carrying sheet, and it's a long no. Actually, it's an infinity. So like that, shall we just say that there's a one sheet here where the current is out of the plane, and what about here? There's a one sheet where current is into the plane. There's like a two, like a current carrying sheets are present. Able to get this? So it is as good as like a current, like a moving current carrying sheet, no? So actually there's a charge, actually it's rotating. So here what happened, the positive charge is there. Positive charge out of the plane. Positive charge out of the plane means, so it's as good as like a, on this edge and here positive charge into the plane. So this is equivalent to what you can. So I'll nearby, I'll just show like this. So the same green color strips nearby what you can put. This is equivalent to current coming out of the plane. Here equivalent to current out of the plane or into the plane. That one only. So charge, because omega, look at how the velocity here will be in this direction. So now let this be equal to the width of this, let it be ds, and let this be equal to dl. Now, how this sheet will produce field here? So bring out those two sheets. Only a part of strip here. Actually, it's a long no, so I'm just for our convenient, I'm just showing only this one. So this is strip like this. You bring it. Now, how B bar due to this should be? So there's a green color. Okay, we'll take this one. Yeah. B bar due to this will be here in this direction, here like this. Yeah. So what about B bar due to this one will be in this direction and in this direction. What about magnitude? Magnitude is same. We have to calculate the net field. We'll take superposition. We'll calculate field inside and outside the pipe. Okay, now you know. Once you get that, like a similar to current carrying strip, I think you can manage. And what about here? We are seeing this. DSI to represent, no? The velocity into the plane here. I'll show like this. This will be out of the plane. Velocity vector will be like this. Velocity vector will be in this direction. So this should be the, okay, I don't know. Please try to, let me keep like this. So I'll separately bring another sheet. So there's a sheet. Anything you take, current. This is DL. This is S. This is V, no? So what is V? V should be ds by dt. Tangential velocity should be equal to ds by dt at this particular point. Tangential velocity. So what will be the tangential velocity? And this is what ds you can take it. So what is V should be equal to? V should be equal to ds by dt. This I'll try to avoid. Now get into the problem now. Apply Ampere's path. So this will be a curved path. Like this. What should be the length of the path? You can take it equal to dl or anything that one, almost equal to this length. Or I'll try to avoid this. A lot of things. And directly look at this diagram and check it. So what is dl? This length is dl. Straight away, only one strip. At least you do one thing. At least do for one strip here. BDL here only. If you want to come from here, this is the. And how B bar? B bar will be in this direction. Here B bar will be in this direction. So looking at this diagram, what you can write? Looking at this diagram. If you are looking at this, either one. Look at only any one, either this strip or this strip. So write expression for B. So 2BDL. So I'll let me take this one. 2BDL equal to mu naught into DI. How much of current in that? Let it be DI. So what is DI? Should be equal to total charge enclosed here. Let it be DQ. So 2B DL equal to mu naught DQ by DT. What should be the DQ? DL into DS, sigma into DL into DS. So this should be 2B DL mu naught DT sigma DL into DS by DT. Now, what we can write it, I'll bring it further here. V is what? ds by dt or dl by dt I should write. Vs, this V is ds by dt, no? Or look at here. At many places I indicated. So this V should be equal to ds by dt. So 2b dl is equal to mu naught sigma dl ds by dt. Just put like this. Huh? So substitute no. So 2b dl equal to mu naught sigma dl into v. dl get cancels. So 2b equal to mu naught sigma. Again the same thing, no? What we earlier we had. What is v? We don't know v, no? What is v? We have assumed it. What is v? v is equal to r omega. So for rotating cylinder also, we are able to bring like this. So this is the magnetic field due to one strip. Okay, let's come for now inside and outside. There's a point P, P1. I'm interested in these things. P2 and P3. At P1, P1 is here. P1, this is P2, this is P3. Okay, in all the diagrams you can indicate, no? What should be the resultant field at point P1? There's a tangential velocity. ds is what? Arc length. V is the tangential velocity. V equal ds by dt. You can do by long solenoid. but I want you to think. So you try with a long solenoid one. Current per unit width you have to define that. You'll get the same answer. Because again, if I rotate with angular acceleration, no, due to long solenoid, you find little bit difficult. That's why I just brought a very generalized method. Now let's come for this one. There's all the background. Now let's come for this. Okay, now what is the field at point P1 inside the cylinder? Shall I say will add up due to this edge, the field produced by this edge and this edge will add up. Now you have to ask question, sir. Remaining here also, I can assume a strip, they'll also produce. This is like an equivalent method. Sir, I'll assume strip here, I'll assume strip here, I'll assume strip here, I'll assume strip here.
Sir, how did you get 2B, sir? When we were deriving the same thing for
Ampere, wait, listen for me. Ampere circuit of BDL, here will be perpendicular. Oh no.
you told outside the solenoid there will be very less number of lines of force, so we are taking B outside to be 0.
I'm not saying this is a solenoid. I'm not saying solenoid, no? Then why you are generalizing things?
It will practically be like a solenoid only.
Listen for me. In the end, you can clarify your doubt. Okay, then now let's come for field at point P1. Field at point P1. Shall I add up these two B's? Super, because there's a one sheet, no? B plus B. This will be mu naught sigma r omega by 2. Field at point P2. I should take superposition. Field at P2 due to blue color one, B bar is there. Due to this red color one will be there, no? I told you whenever two sheets are there, you should take superposition here. Not only this alone will be there. Even in the absence of this, there'll be B bar here due to this sheet. Then in the absence of this, there'll be B bar due to this sheet. When both are present, the resultant field. Okay, no, I think now you are in better position. I'll put it. I think problem over now. So what is the field strength at point P2? Will be 0. While asking questions, please do notice now. How it has become zero is very important. How it has become zero is very important. So therefore, for rotating cylinder, charged cylindrical shell, where the field will be confined. Field will be there only inside the pipe, and how it will be directed? It will be directed in the direction of omega. Is it okay? Check the ones. The direction of B bar inside the cylindrical pipe will be directed along the axis of cylinder. Look at the resultant B bar. Resultant B bar will be in this direction. What about field here? Will be zero. I'm not saying like a uh, directly that one. This will produce field. This surface also will produce field. The resultant due to that will be zero here. This what you have to assume like this. So this is like a solenoid only, but don't call solenoid. Solenoid is totally different. This is like a analogy you can compare for solenoid. Yes. Field inside the solenoid will be non-zero, no? Field outside the solenoid will be zero. This is external to solenoid. This point P2, P3 are external to solenoid. P1 is inside the solenoid. Got it one? So these are the some things are there. After this, how much of energy density per unit or energy density? What is the formula for energy density? Energy density is given by UD. So this is equal to, similar to that, B square by 2 mu naught. Magnetic energy density. Where all field is present, there a magnetic field energy is said to be present, and that we define it as magnetic field energy density, and multiply with the volume, you'll get the total magnetic field energy. So they may test you what is the field magnetic energy density inside the rotating cylindrical pipe, non-charged pipe. See, this is a method. Why we are not considering other steps? Why you're not considering that like that? What when you are going to add 2b, 3b, 4b? This I just took some elemental step, so you can consider this to be like a ring better and work out. Since you are aware of the sheet, no, I just made problem very simple. Or else, what you should assume, it's like a ring of radius 2 pi, radius r, and the width dl. Then work out the problem. You'll get the same thing. Since you are very familiar with the square sheet, no, so therefore I introduced like this. So I like a, we can also take this like a strip. So some this like a ring of radius 2 pi r and the width dl. It's rotating, and you know due to rotating field, what is the magnetic field? Work out, and there's the elemental ring. It become elemental ring. You can use try that also. If you want to try, you'll get the answer. Okay, fine. So this I'm generalized way I'm putting this one. Just it's a like a one of the method I'm showing that one. So if you want, you can try that one. So what to try? It is like this. This is a ring. Instead of this strip, no, so you directly take a ring like this. DL radius of this is what the radius of that one only. So let the charge in this be dq. Rotating ring, you know what is the magnetic field. Like that you add up. You'll get same answer, nothing. The method is different, no? The approach is different here. This is a elemental ring. What is dq? Dq, you should write it as sigma into 2 pi r into dl. Are you getting now? The things will be little bit, you have to be careful here. Then work out the problem. First you calculate the B bar due to this ring, then due to total. Okay, now two coaxial dielectric cylindrical shells. Already we know formula, no? It's a directly substitution of formula, nothing big is there. Two coaxial. There's another method. try it, you'll get the same answer. Okay, let me put the diagram in a little bit simplified way. There is a two rings are there. Already you know formula. Take help of the only the resultant superposition of the fields. You carry on and get the answer. The radii are R1, R2. These shells begin to rotate in same sense with angular velocity omega 1 and omega 2. I think the angular velocities are different. So for this, we'll show omega 1, omega 2. Charge densities sigma 1, any sense. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll take clockwise. Earlier I took this one. I'll change the sense of rotation. Now get into the problem. So here you just don't go for all that mathematics directly. You know formula. Here current will be out of the plane. Current due to this will be into the plane. Or else you can assume a ring concept and bring it. It's left to you, either one. So here also it will be out of the plane. Here it will be into the plane. And nearby that show the B bar. So show B bar. So how B bar. So I'll call this will be B1, no? B2. This is B2. This is B1. This is B1. This will be B1. What we should do? So there are points are there for us. Colors I do. Resultant field we have to show it now. I'll show all the fields. That just give me, because only that particular structure will not produce. It will produce everywhere. So this is the B2, B2, and this B2 should also be present here, no? Some name I don't know what symbols to give. And I'll do one thing. Structures 1, 2, 3 already we used, no? This will do one thing. A, B, C, D. It will produce field BD, BD. superposition of all the fields, like a 4 current carrying sheets are there. In that way, what you're supposed to assume here. Okay, fine. This is again similarly now due to this, due to C, it will be here okay, no, so now due to A and B will show it. Due to A, it will be BA, BA. Due to B, it will be now directly we know magnitudes, no? The field produced by C and D should be equal. The magnitude should be equal. BC equal to BD is equal to how much? Mu naught sigma R omega by 2. Mu1, no? So it is mu naught sigma 1, sigma 2. Similarly, the field produced by A and B, mu naught sigma 1 R1 omega 1 by 2. Then take superposition all, you'll get the required answer. Now, what about the field at distance R from the common axis? For R less than capital R1, R less than R12. So first we'll go for R less than R1. What about the resultant field? Shall I say all will get added up? I try to see the arrows. Due to all sheets, it should be added up. BA plus BB plus BC plus BD. So this should be mu naught. Total it will be sigma 1 R1 omega plus mu naught omega 2. Now for R, C and D will add it up, whereas due to BB and BA will get cancelled up. Only due to C and D it will be there. You check it now. BA minus BB will come. BC plus BD. So only due to mu naught sigma 2 R2 omega 2. Now for R greater than R2. Shall I say 0? Getting the idea? So the superposition. So or else you do one thing, you take the ring method. In the ring method, what will happen is for you calculating field inside, okay, outside will happen again, little bit careful. That's why I just took this method. whatever the field due to ring method, due to elemental ring here, no, whatever the field outside, you find little bit difficult in a numericals like this. So that approach is only for that particular cylindrical shell rotating. What is the field inside? Okay, fine. Therefore, there's a very generalized method what books they proposed treating like this. So it'll be much easier, no? What about the field density, energy density? We can take out in different structures, say like at different points, field inside, we can manage, you know. Okay, now we'll go for last one. The okay, next class we'll discuss. No, find the magnetic pressure on the wall of the pipe. Magnetic pressure. How magnetic pressure will come into picture here? Like we had in electrostatics, no? Electric field density, electric pressure. Similarly, a magnetic charge, magnetic field density will come into picture. This is very important. We don't have any question till now in advance possibility of asking. So how the current is flowing? So what I do is I'll assume the pipe. There's a pipe, no? This is radius R. So how is the current? Current everywhere on the, because on the surface current is flowing, no? See, we can I can directly write formula b square by 2 mu naught. From there I'll manage. But when you go for application problems, so you should know how that force will act. I can link this with elasticity. Some stress will be there. Then due to that deformation, we can introduce many other mixed concepts. So therefore, I'm preferring the force method rather than directly writing formula. So here the current I is flowing, this current I. So now let me assume a strip. Here I'll assume a strip, that one. So I'll calculate force acting on the strip, force per unit area of the strip. That force per unit area will become the pressure, the electric pressure. Then what is the current? How is the current flowing throughout the surface? No, let di be the current flowing in this elemental strip. Length of the strip, let it be dl, and let this be dx or dr. Anything you can write it. This one. So it is what we assume the strip like this. No, I think if I can force per unit area here, if I can calculate, problem is solved. Okay, what is this particular? So you assume two symmetric elements here. This is like a current carrying sheet only, no? Long current carrying sheet. But sir, you are saying pipe. Then again, you are using word here, long current carrying sheet. What do you mean by long current carrying sheet? There won't be beginning and end, no? Long current carrying sheet. What do you mean by that? There is no beginning and end. Look at this pipe also. There is no beginning and end. Here, this surface. Though it's a finite, but there's no beginning and end, no? So therefore, it will also behave like a long current carrying sheet here. So if I assume elements, So I'm asking you to assume a elements here. So let me assume that element here. So how is the current here will be flowing? Current here will be into the plane, into the plane. So how B bar this will produce this element? This element will produce B bar like this, and here B bar, and this element will produce B bar. This element. So like that, why the net field inside the pipe? Here, what is the resultant field inside the pipe? You check it. So go back to electrostatic. Will it be zero? If a current flows in on a surface of pipe, what is the B bar inside the pipe? Will be zero. The field strength here will be zero. What about outside? Outside will be non-zero. How do you can say? I think it's like a two current carrying sheets. Now what about B bar? This is one. This you take it. So this will produce B bar, B bar. This will produce B bar and B bar, and B1 equal to B2. What about field inside here at this particular point? In between will be zero, no? What about field here? These two will get added up, no? So again, what is the our basic way of learning things? We do show like this, no? Superposition. So here I should show B2, and the B1 I should show here. Will you agree? This is what actually happens. What should be the field between the plates? Will be zero. Field external to plates, like here at this point, the field here will get added up. Okay, let's come for Ampere's circuit law. What is the field outside the pipe? What is the field outside the pipe? I think that diagram. Where that current is enclosed here. And I'll assume a Ampere's circuit law, Amperian loop. Let it be like this. No, this is the, what is the total current enclosed is I. And let me take a DL here. According to Ampere's law, what is B net? B net into integral of DL should be equal to mu naught. What is the net current enclosed? Of course, the current I is flowing, but what is the net current enclosed? Is I only. And what you are going to write? B net equal to mu naught I by 2 pi r. Will I agree this? What is the radius of the pipe? Is capital R. On the surface of the pipe, what should be the magnetic field? Will it be zero or non-zero? On the surface. On the surface means here. How much it should be? Mu naught I by 2 pi capital R. Will I agree this? I'll write it on the surface. Keep this data in hand. So how that mu naught I by 2 pi r it has become. So let me break up here. So shall I say these two fields will contribute, no? B1 and B2 together they contribute. When they both contribute, what happens? It becomes mu naught I by 2 pi r. Are you able to get that logically? So the resultant field is become mu naught I by 2 pi r. How it has become mu naught I by 2 pi r? By adding up these two fields. By adding up these two fields. So what is the field B1 I should write? Half of this mu naught I by BP by 2. What about B2? It should also be BP by 2. I'll accordingly change symbols here. This we took B1, B1, B2, B1, B2.
Sir, in in the bottom, the B1 should be towards left, no, sir.
Here.
Yes, sir,
Okay,
in the
okay, that one.
bottom.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think, yeah, fine. Now, what is B1, B2? B1 plus B2 is what BP, no? On the surface. What is the field at this particular point? Is it only due to this sheet 1? Is it only due to sheet 1 here or due to both? Due to both, no? So what is B1 plus B2? At point P, what should be the field? Should be due to B1 and B2. So therefore, B1 equal to B2. But sir, this is a ring. So it is also like like a large current carrying sheet because there is no beginning, no end. So it will be like a non-conducting sheet only. So on the surface, so therefore now, what is value of B1? B2 should be equal to BP by 2. Now let's assume that. Shall I assume that one? This surface now present in the field produced by the point P will experience force due to the field produced by the second sheet or the second element. There's the first element, and there's a second element. You assume exactly symmetric to that. So shall we make out like this? The field produced by the second element due to that what pen? The current flowing in the first element will experience a force similar to capacitor charged plates. The charge present on negative plate will experience force due to field produced by the positive plate. The similar idea is what you have to bring. The current flowing in the first element 1 will experience a force due to field produced by the second element. And that force I'll calculate. That force per unit area will become magnetic pressure. So how to calculate that value? That value of B1, B2 is what I brought it here. Okay, I agree this one. So now let's get into the real part of the problem. DF, the force. How I should bring it now? DF is equal to DF is equal to. So shall I write B2 B2, the field produced by that B2 into how much of current is flowing in the element 1? DI. What is the length of that? DL. So what is this DF? Force experienced by the strip 1. Here you can see that by strip. I'll write in detail. If you are able to write this, rest all very easy. Huh? Force experienced by strip 1 due to field produced by strip 2. So directly write strip 1, strip 2. Now what you can write it? So this df equal to B2, what you can write? B2 as BP by 2 DI into DL. Further, what is DI? We should write it. What is the current per unit I by 2 pi R? Because total current is I, no, on the surface of the pipe. So lambda will be how much? I by 2 pi R. This is lambda, not any other symbol, lambda. What we assumed it. So now DI I can write it now. BP 1 by 2. BP is mu naught I by 2 pi r. Di is what? Lambda into dx into this is dl. So further 1 by 2 mu naught I 2 pi r. What is lambda? I by 2 pi r. Dx dl. What you can write dx dl. Dx into dl, area of the strip. Books, they're given directly formula, but you'll not understand. That's why I just picked up the basic method. So the df by dx into dl, this should be equal to mu naught I square 4 pi 8 pi square r square. This is force per unit area. So force per unit area is what you can call pressure, magnetic pressure. You write PB like this symbol. There's a magnetic pressure. How do this force will act? What about direction? This is something of all very important is like I brought ampere circuit law. Then what happened? We are just calculating near the surface. We know as I move away, what happened to field. I think there are many things are there. As I move away, according to this, the field will increase. On the surface, I'm calculating. That is equal to capital R. And I'm treating like this is like a large conducting sheets. This because there's no beginning and end. So then take superposition similar to that one. So how to calculate that B1, B2? Again, we have a method here. Already I brought it, no? Mu naught I by 2 pi r. Now, what about force? How that force will be? So again, you have to take the Ampere's law. So how the field will be? You look at this one, B2, how B2 will be? B2 will be like this, B bar, the current. So force, is it radially inward or outward? If a current I flows through a structure, I think I can give only a plain diagram. 3D diagram not possible. Current is here. Anybody? How the force outward or radially inward? There are only radially inward or radially outward. B bar is tangential, no? Put B bar, put finger, pointing finger, that one, and middle finger, put it. So if you when you twist your arm, no, that one, so it will come radially here. So this will be DF like this. So everywhere the force will be. So what will happen to this pipe now? We'll try to contract. We'll experience a contraction. So how the questions are asked for you is rather than magnetic pressure. No, if I say magnetic pressure, people will write this answer. So therefore, if a current if a current I flows through a pipe, like a copper pipe, then the pipe will contract, the pipe will expand, the will contract. We'll try to contract, no? And who will balance this? Who will balance this? So you you have to bring a tension. How the tensions will act in this direction. So I'll ask you find the tension the this particular pipe. No, so all application problems will do come for you. There's a basic idea now. We must know what is the thing. So when you get a problem like this, no, you can't write the formula energy density b square by 2 mu naught. Calculate b square, you get the same answer. What is b equal to? Mu naught I by 2 pi r. Substitute that. You see. You will end up answer very easily, no? 1 by 2 mu naught I by, then how much will get it? Mu naught I square 8 pi square r square. It's over. A pipe will contract or expand. Who will answer that? So you can't do preparation for advance of these kind of. What is the unit for this? Energy density, joule per cubic meter. Energy density, no, joule per cubic meter. Pressure also what happened? We can convert that. Or Newton per meter square. No, both are same. So therefore, this magnetic energy density also, what I can call it as magnetic pressure. Both are same. Or magnetic pressure. So we can't answer. We can calculate how much magnetic pressure, but you can't answer will it contract or expand. So you must have a basic idea. You should have worked out. I'll ask you to calculate tension. I don't think so. This will help you much here. You must have initial that force analysis here. That's why I just brought here. So the tension element, on this element, it should act on this element. On this element, it is like this. On this element, it is like this. So the dF is deforming force. This tension will be like a restoring force. So calculate the tension per unit length. All such questions can be asked. You have to be very careful. Okay, tomorrow I think we have a class. Okay, tomorrow I'll continue. A few more are there. Okay, thank you, all of you. Okay, I'll stop the class.